Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I'm George. We're all George. So happy Monday. Welcome to another market open stream. The market bell has just rung, and today, of course, we got to talk about Bitcoin's big move above 30,000 and still holding. And I believe a lot more big moves are coming. So let's talk about all these things and more. Let's do this. Welcome, guys. Look at, let me change my screen here. Look at Bitcoin, 30,600. Yesterday, it seemed like it was not going to stop. It was just keep on going. And alts actually, a lot of alts actually did quite well. And today overall, the market looking pretty green. Looking pretty green overall. You have some big movers like Polygon and Chainlink. Right, you got a lot of double digits, we had yesterday, but now it cooled off a little. But still, the market is red hot, and I've been saying this. Bitcoin seems to have decoupled away from U.S. markets, which is absolutely fantastic because today is looking like a really red day again. Look at Dow starting off with minus 144 and NASDAQ down 48. Okay, so right now, what's happening is people are flocking to safety, flocking to quality, and getting away from what exists, which is a lot of redness right now, right? I mean, people they don't know. Equity investors, bond investors, they don't seem to quite know what to do right now, okay? Because things are coming back down. It's a little scary. You know, we have the new war going on, right? Of course, oil prices are going up. Look at this headline. Chevron is buying some other oil company for $53 billion, right? That means oil, a little unstable right now. You have treasury yields going sky high. 10-year yield hits 5%. It's no good. Last time we saw this happen was 2007. Okay, why is this no good? Because there are a lot of people that are dumping their bonds right now. So there's two reasons for it. A lot of people dumping their bonds right now, which, of course, you need to incentivize people to continue buying, right? So the rate goes up a little bit. And then also, you do have a lot of uncertainty from the equity market. So people don't know what to put their money in. So some people choose to buy it treasury yield. I don't know. It's just like 10 years. Okay. I don't get it. I really don't. 10 years to get your money back and you're getting 5% a year. I guess, you know, it's better than leaving it into, let's say, S&P 500 or leaving it into Dow, which could be gaining less than 5%. It could be in a negative percent. I get that. But I don't get why you would do that when you can buy Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is the flight to safety, the flight to quality at this point, right? Buy something that will outperform not only inflation, but every other asset class there is. That's Bitcoin. So, starting out with that one, look at all the earnings this week. A lot. Some of the biggest tech companies out there, I mean, not some, all of them. Microsoft, Alphabet, Amazon, Meta, IBM, you know, they're all reporting. And then you have some other big ones, MasterCard, Visa, you got the airlines, you got the car manufacturers. This is going to be a wild week. Wild week. And I don't know if any of these companies are going to do well. Tesla reported last week and it was horrible. So I don't know if any of these companies will do well. And then that might pull the markets down even more, but that's okay. Bitcoin does not care. Bitcoin does not care. So right now, Bitcoin above 30,000. What does that mean overall? It means there's a shift in sentiment. I've been saying this. I mean, I believe that there has been a shift in sentiment for quite a long time, but we got a boost recently, obviously, right? With a fake Bitcoin spot ETF approval news. that kind of gave us a little bump from our 26,000 range into the 28, 29. And now we are getting a little bit more bullish because there's several other things to look forward to that are coming up. But in the meantime, even if we discount all these things, we're getting closer and closer to year end, and we're getting closer and closer to the halving event. And you can't discount the halving event. Based on history, every single time we pass a halving event, really good things happen to Bitcoin. And I don't think investors, I don't think they want to miss out. They're not stupid. They're not, right? And look at this. Of course, Michael Saylor wants people to know Bitcoin is the way. If you compare Bitcoin's performance with NASDAQ, which is the tech sector, since August 10th of 2020, Bitcoin is up 150%, basically. NASDAQ up about 20%. So that cash pile that MicroStrategy had, if you put it into a NASDAQ, he'll be up 20%. If he put it into gold, he'll be a negative percent. But he decided to put in Bitcoin. So Bitcoin went up 147% since then. And because we are above 30,000, MicroStrategy has now broken even. In fact, he's in the green again. That's the power of DCA. So a lot of people pick on Michael Saylor, especially the traders or the naysayers, and they will say, well, MicroStrategy bought way too much Bitcoins back in the day. And you look at it, in 2021, he did. He bought a lot of Bitcoins towards the top. Okay, like 40, 50,000 range. He also bought some at low points, right? Before sub 10,000. He bought one when it was below 30,000. But look at all those buys above our 30,000 mark right now. Even with all those humongous buys, he'd also bought a lot towards the bottom. So if you average all of his purchases, he's in the green already. And we're barely past 30,000. When we get back to 40, 50, 60, 80, 100, 200, MicroStrategy is going to be sitting on a ton. Well, I take that back. He's already sitting on a ton of Bitcoin, but that ton of Bitcoin will be so much more. And he doesn't even need to wait to get back to 69,000 to break even. That's the power of DCA. That's why you got to do it over time. You want to take advantage when Bitcoin is low, not when it's sky high. You want to take advantage while it's low. You think of it as a gift. You bring your cost average down, and by the time we get back to previous high, you're well into the green. And I know a lot of you guys do follow it. A lot of you guys, I just saw this morning, someone said, I'm in the green, and I've been DCAing since 2021, even towards the top. That's the power of DCA. It's the winning strategy that all investors follow. All right, now, what else is going on? Well, if you compare Bitcoin to gold, you know, there's a lot of charts I've shown, and the reason why gold really went up because gold got its ETF. It took forever for gold to get it. But that was really the reason why gold started going up in a big way. But if you look at Bitcoin right now versus I guess, not even the early years of gold, but just like years of gold. Because gold's been around for a long time. But yeah, we're moving pretty similar. We're moving pretty similar. And by the time Bitcoin tops out, you know, according to this chart, where gold pretty much is around that 2,000 mark, it's marked at $2 million for Bitcoin. So once Bitcoin gets to about 2 million, that's when it kind of flattens out according to this. Is that the case or not? I don't know. Will Bitcoin ever hit 2 million? I think so. It's going to take some time. But does that mean it stops at 2 million and settles down? I guess we'll just have to wait and see, right? Here's another one. I should have shown this one first. This one is from Dylan talking about DCA of Bitcoin, stocks, and gold from the top of 2021, November 10th. Again, Bitcoin will be up the most. Then you have gold. Then S&P 500, which barely moved. Again, the winning strategy is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the best performing asset class known to man, basically. If you go back from the very beginning, it doesn't matter how far you go back, really. Obviously not like the last 2 years while we were coming down, but if you go back any further, like 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, 12 years, it's the best performing asset class, and it's not even close. This is why we are in Bitcoin, right? Flight to safety, flight to quality, flight to gains. I just made that up. Everyone should quote that now. Flight to gains, Bitcoin. All right. What else is there? On-chain supply distribution. So this is pretty interesting. Most people bought Bitcoin right between this range of 26,000 and 30,000, right? 24% of the supply. That's quite interesting. You look at everyone's purchase. Obviously, some people have purchased way early, right? Even in the single digits. Some purchased double digits, triple digits. I was in the triple digits, but then I didn't know what I was doing back then, and I got back in when in the quadruple digits. But most people seems like they got into when it was 5 digits. I don't even know how to say it. I don't know how you say 5 digits. But anyways, that's kind of interesting. So breaking out of 30,000, kind of like Michael Saylor, breaking out of 30,000 actually puts most people in the green. So once we start moving up to 30, 32, 35, 40, and we start trending higher, then vast majority of the people will be in green again, regardless if they DCA'd or not. But of course, the higher we go, the more people will be in the green. And eventually we will break 69,000 and everyone will be in the green. 100%. If you think about it, unless they were playing with leverage and they lost a lot. But yeah, that's just how great Bitcoin is. What else is there? Okay, so looking at some charts here. Bitcoin has broken above the EMA 21 and the SMA 20. Okay, and there's, if you look at prior times when this crossover has happened and the breakout has happened, okay, what happens? Bitcoin goes on a tremendous run. That's what it's looking like right now. Exactly like before. You could argue that we're a little bit ahead of the game, okay, because we haven't crossed the halving event yet. So we're probably a little bit, just a few months out. We may go just like slightly upwards, not too much. But I really feel like in 2024 after halving event, just like the prior times, we will see that tremendous move. What we're seeing right now is only like tip of the iceberg. Really, it's nothing compared to what's coming, right? I mean, it's real obvious. It's really obvious. You look at history, you look at how we're moving according to history, and then you bundle that with the growing fundamentals, and then you bundle that with the flight to quality and safety from the traditional markets, and then you bundle that with some really good news that's about to come. I mean, I don't see how you can be bearish at this point. I just don't. This is time to be greedy, not fearful. Okay, so here's another chart that's showing that we're at the cusp of a major breakout. And that breakout can take us, right? Where to? I don't know. By the halving event, it could take us up to 50,000. I've seen charts that show that we could be at 40, 50,000. I've seen ones showing that we could be above our previous high at 80,000. And I've seen ones that say we could be at 135,000 by the halving event. I don't think that's going to happen by the halving event, us being at 130,000. But if I'm wrong and we do hit there, I'm not going to cry about it. I'm going to be cheering for that. And a lot of you guys will be too, right? But there's just, even from a chart perspective, there are a lot of charts that show that we are breaking every single moving average and all these signals and all these channels. We're breaking through. which is awesome. And here's one, last one I'll show you guys that kind of shows you the whole picture, okay, from start to finish. Is looking good. Okay, so that purple, it's hard to see, but that next point, that purple point, right, is the point right before Bitcoin usually starts heading up in a big way. Okay, it's like a midway point. And that one is showing right around 50 to 60,000. So again, another one showing that by the halving event, we could be around that 50, 60 point, and then who knows where we will top out. Okay. And on top of all of these things, on top of the fractal patterns and everything I've said, I did mention there's two other big things coming up, catalysts, right, that can drive Bitcoin much higher. There's one that's coming up in a couple weeks that have nothing to do with Bitcoin, but I think it's going to make a big, big difference. The XRP thing, Ripple is getting together with SEC on November 9th, and they're going to talk it out. Most likely, most are predicting that the SEC will just say, we will be dropping the lawsuit. And it will be another huge loss to the SEC, but they simply don't have any resources left or any avenue to pursue to go after Ripple with. So most likely this day, Ripple will announce and SEC will announce that they come to some kind of settlement, but basically Ripple is going to win. And this will be huge, not only for XRP, I believe, but for the entire market. Because after this, guess what? Then we concentrate on SEC versus Coinbase. And then Coinbase is going to win. Okay, so now these crypto projects and companies have sued and won after years upon years upon years of going back and forth in the courtroom. And now we actually have some clarity that the SEC can't just assume everything's a security and attack everything, right? This will be good. So I believe this is coming up in a couple weeks. Okay, November 9th, that's not too far away. And then, of course, we have something that's coming any day now. Grayscale. Grayscale have submitted a filing to convert their trust into a spot Bitcoin ETF. They already won the lawsuit. SEC can't really stop them. They have to come up with some really outrageous reason to not allow them to convert. And what better project or company to have a spot Bitcoin ETF, because Grayscale holds 650,000 Bitcoins. So if you were to make an argument, they are the best suited to come out the first Bitcoin spot ETF, right? So this approval could be coming any day now too. Their like deadlines are different than all the other applications because those are new ETFs, new spot ETFs. This one is a conversion. So I don't even know, I don't know if anyone actually published if there are deadlines for this or it just happens. I don't know. So this could be around the corner too. And if we get the very first spot Bitcoin ETF, we're also going to see some big moves. We're going to see, just like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, that fake Cointelegraph news. This will be much bigger in scale, I believe, because this is something that we've been working towards since 2017. And now thinking back in hindsight, of course, to think about some of these projects and fund managers trying to come out the Bitcoin spot ETF back in 2017 was way too premature. The space wasn't ready. Okay, so I'll agree to the SEC commissioner at the time, Jay Clayton. He said it's just too early. That's true. But now in 2023, it is not. The market is so much more mature, and the market needs it. The market demands it, and institutions are demanding it. BlackRock is demanding it, right? So this time around, it's going to be different. We need it. No, I take that back. We don't need it, but we're going to get it, and it's going to be huge. Huge. So, that's it. Man, I said a lot. The market, U.S. market is still looking bad, but Bitcoin is still looking strong. 30,600. Bitcoin's not going anywhere. Bitcoin is going to get stronger from here on out, and it's going to be amazing. All right, let's do some Q&A. Got a good crowd in here, of course. 3,600 people. Man, my Sunday walk videos are going crazy. You guys, and this is competing with Sunday Night Football too. So I'm really glad that you guys are enjoying it. I will do it as long as I can. If I can't do it outside, then I'll probably do it in the gym or somewhere. All right. Let's see here. Scrolling up and down. DCA is the way. Yep. Can't go wrong with DCA. A lot of people are agreeing. They are in the green now. ADA is a slow burner, but has always been that way. That is true. Hold is the best thing you could do. Yes. People getting on. People attacking Data Dash, saying Data Dash is so depressed. I don't know if he's still depressed. Like, is he still very negative? I still, like, now that we're above 30,000, I don't know how anyone could still be depressed. You can still be cautious, right? But to be bearish and depressed, I don't know how you can. Unless you don't have any Bitcoin or crypto. Then I could see why you would be depressed because you regret not buying any. KJ Brown, could there be a possibility there could be a separate bull run for separate genre of crypto? Yes, but we need to see some users. Gaming, for example, could be a big one. If we get a really, really spectacular game that drives in millions and millions of users to it, then yes, that game and their tokens and their NFTs will explode and decouple away from everything else, right? But we don't see that yet. We don't see a killer app. Same thing, if we had a killer social app that had millions upon millions of users, then yes, they would decouple as well. But right now, the reason why everything moves in tandem with Bitcoin is because we don't see those killer apps yet. Okay, right now our dApps are basically just DeFi plays, and they're all kind of tied together because there's the same liquidity pools and the same liquidity kind of spread around chains and stuff. And yes, some do move faster than others, but overall, they're kind of coupled to Bitcoin because Bitcoin is still leading the way. But one day when we do get these killer apps or dApps that do drive millions of new users to the space and in itself, then they will definitely decouple and have their own runs. But we just don't see that yet, which is good because that means it's still very, very early. All right. GBDC to the moon. I didn't even check that. Let's see. GBDC formed a new high on Friday, and it formed a new high today. Yeah, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust has been on fire. Year to date, it started at $8. $8 to 24. That's not too shabby. Um, what's your price prediction for Mara? I don't know. Where's Mara? I know they're not at their previous high. Year to date, yeah, they're not far off from their Grayscale. Much better buy. Man, Mara was at like 130s. That was probably before they transitioned to Bitcoin. I don't know. There's something wrong there. I don't believe they were 130s. That they were probably a different market back then or different company. But high 2021, they got to about 48, $50. That's reasonable. 130s, I don't think so. I don't know what the story is there. Data Dash super stressed. If he was, shorting right now, or he sold off all his Bitcoins, this is why, I'm not trying to pick on him, like people are just mentioning it because they know he's like one of the biggest bears. This is why I also never advise people to try to outsmart the market, because it goes both ways. Sometimes you think the market's going to go down more. So then you sell because you think you could catch the bottom, right? So why not sell and buy the bottom and you could get more? But it doesn't always work that way, because as soon as you sell, usually I find there's like some kind of supernatural thing going on. As soon as you sell is when it starts going up, right? So then you're forced, you're forced in a situation. Should I buy back in or wait? Right? And some people think, I'm just going to wait because I think it's going to go down. And then you just keep watching it go up and up and up and up and up. And then you get super, super depressed. Even more so than had you just held on and it went down. Because if you held on and gone down, you could still DCA, right? You could still do something about it. But if you sold and you just keep watching it go up and up and up, it could go up infinitely. And that pressure of realizing that you made that happen, you made yourself lose all those gains, I argue that's the worst. That's the worst kind of pain you could feel, right? So there are a lot of people that go through that. And I'm sure some influencers have gone through that too, with all their charts and what they've been saying. And it's like, oh, it's going to go down. It's going to be super bearish. They probably listened to themselves and they sold. And now that things are up way higher than they sold, they're feeling it, and they're gonna try to double down on it because they're projecting now. It's like, oh, I better double down on my bearish, sentiment and predictions. Try to, not purposefully, but maybe a little bit unintentionally to get other people to feel that way to kind of drive things down. I've seen it all. I made these same mistakes. Not like I'm, haven't. Not like I've been above it, but I've been in the space for a long time. I've been through all these things. That's why I realized, just don't trade. Just don't. Just buy and hold on DCA. That wins out every single time. There's so many traders, I'll tell you, had I not traded and just held, I would have made more in the end. So, of course, do I like to degen a little bit? Sure. Sometimes I get bored. I'll throw in a few bucks into memes or a few bucks into leverage. Yesterday I tweeted out, I made a few bucks on Chainlink and Polygon, right? Sometimes, you do a little degen stuff, but you never go all in. You never put all of it in there, right? And unfortunately, I did see an email from someone that said, hey, I was greedy. I screwed up. I lost on my Solana and I think ADA, because I'm pretty sure it's due to leverage, right? What do I do about it? You keep going forward. You don't give up the dream, but learn from that mistake and stop going so greedy into leverage. Okay, I just want to rant there, but it's okay. It's a good rant. Johnny, finally orange pilled family, DCA, simple, effective. That's right. Would you take some profits on Google and reinvest in BTC? I've been holding for 10 years. Infinite, I mean, for me, I have let's just use me as an example. I have 99% of my holdings in crypto. Very, very, very little in stocks or anything else. Okay, so I think based on that, you know my answer. I just don't see things outperforming crypto, especially if you're a long-term holder. Short-term, sure, Google could do better. 1 to 2 years, maybe they outperform Bitcoin or Ethereum or Avalanche. But long-term, nothing outperforms Bitcoin and crypto. All right. Mr. Unoffended, what's your opinion on Multiverse X? I'm going to be completely honest. First of all, I hated that name ever since they announced it. It's a silly name. I much prefer Elrond over Multiverse X because it seems like they're going all in on Metaverse, right? With that name. You have to with that name. But Metaverse is still unproven. Facebook has spent enormous amount of money trying to grow theirs. No success, right? So I hate that name. Second of all, I got to admit, I don't know what they've been up to since 2021. They created their own launchpad. They created their own DeFi. And then since that point, I have no idea what else they've been doing. I don't really hear much about them at all. But they are L1. So L1s are great. I like L1s. And in the coming market, they'll probably trend upwards back to their all-time high and keep moving forward. VI Jokers, member for 12 months. Thank you. What's your Santa rally prediction for Bitcoin? I would be very happy if Bitcoin ends up between 35 and 40. Okay. I'm not going to be greedy and say, Bitcoin's going to go to like 50 or 60,000 by the end of the year. I don't think that's going to happen unless we get a spot Bitcoin approval like the Grayscale news or even the XRP news. If both of them come true before end of the year, yeah, Bitcoin can be above. Bitcoin could be like 50 plus. But I think a realistic, I guess, range would be between 35 and 40. If we ended at 40, I'd be very happy. But of course, we can end much higher because of those two catalysts. Eric. Eric. I sold my wheelchair to buy more sheep. Now I walk on my hands. I shouldn't laugh at that, but I'm glad you threw out that bit of humor there. A lot of sheep fans out there. I don't hear much about them recently, but they will come back in full force. All meme coins will go back up for sure. Ben, you keep pumping Zen, all right? You keep pumping it. Joshua, our initial breakouts at the bottoms of bull run, an indication of how much each project will perform throughout the run minus any FUD. I don't know. That's too hard to call. I mean, I'm sure if you had some data analytics platform to measure it, maybe you can find something, some correlation, but no. Because I think every project goes through different phases. Also depends on how many people are involved. It's hard to measure. It's hard to measure. So I don't think it's exact science, but you can make some correlations, right? Like the ones that are moving the most in a bear market, I think that's a good indication that they will continue to move more than others in a bull market, like that correlation. But the exact science of how much is going to go up and stuff, I don't think. That's too hard to make that call. Crypto Hound, huge, huge super chat. Thank you. And Johnny 5 just became a member. UFO gaming went up 65% in a day. There has been a lot of pumps. I don't know if I trust any of them. Like, is there any reason why UFO gaming should be up 65% in a day? The answer is probably not, but people are excited. It's a low cap. It's very easy to pump low caps. Someone mentioned about Zen going up for 100% in a week. Let's see if that's true. It does seem like it's true. Again, is it warranted? Probably not. Could they be a good project with potential? Yes, but you know, anything that goes up 30, 40, 50, 60% in a day, be very cautious of those projects. Len with another gift, 1 membership this time. Appreciate it. DJ, will I buy a new Ferrari in this bull run? I don't know. No, probably not another Ferrari. I'd probably buy something else. Something that's more daily drivable. I don't know what that is. I'm wondering if I'm trying to get a Tesla wall charger installed on the outside of my house. I originally had this plan to put it by the near the driveway because I have this like bump out area. But then I'm thinking if you put a pedestal there with just a charger, it looks kind of weird. It looks like you have your own supercharger setup. So I'm gonna try to put it on my house, but I don't know if I really need it because I don't know how many Teslas I'm gonna own in the future. Harant, I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name. Thank you. Appreciate that. And Infinite Noob, appreciate that. A lot of people very, very happy and excited today. I just want to type R. I saw a new one the other day, a nice blue one, that Sonic Blue, I think they call it, or whatever blue, but it looks nice. I never liked Golfs. I always thought VW Golfs look so boring. I haven't driven a Golf R though, but I don't know. Like Type R is still, they toned it down. It still looks a little bit, you know, I don't know what you call it these days. Like a little, you know, pocket rocket or whatever, race car, however you define it. I don't know. I'll just go with a nice Acura Integra Type S. Same performance, looks nice, right? When another video about the house. I've been thinking about when is the right time. It's really close. The house will be done in roughly 3 weeks. So basically everything's done, except it's very dirty. So it's not, if I show it now, it's gonna take the appeal away because it's just really dirty all around. I think I'm just gonna save it until it's done and cleaned. Yeah, there's a lot of construction dust and just garbage everywhere. What's your take on Hedera? I'll just say neutral. I guess. And someone just asked about, are you still neutral on the H-bar? Yes. I haven't heard anything that made me change my mind yet. The only good thing about Hedera that I could say is that Karate Combat's on Hedera. And that's really the only thing. I don't know what else is on Hedera that people really care about and use. I'm still trying to build out the IFC. It's gone a little cold recently. Been harder to get people to commit. So not as many fights as I want, but I'm still gonna make it happen. The IFC is with Karate Combat. Um, so yeah, outside of them being at Hedera, I don't know. You guys tell me. Name another major project or major DApp or even DeFi project on top of Hedera. Like I have not heard of anything else. I like Crypto Fever says I like the GTR, all that power. I mean the GTR is so old, man. You got to go with something else. GTR is like 15 years, 16 years old. Even the new ones, it's the same engine, same platform. Everyone that drives it says it's not special anymore. Nissan basically have given up on it. There should have been a new one already, but I just don't think they have the money to create a new GTR. So I think you should get something new. Any news on Sheeb? I thought Bone and Shibarium would pump it. I did too, but here's the good thing. It didn't dump either, right? So it kind of just held. You know, I've always questioned this about memes. Do they really need utility? I don't know. Doge is still number one. It has zero roadmap, zero, utility, zero everything, right? And it's still the biggest. Sheeb now has all of these things, right? It hasn't moved past Doge. However, we were in the crypto winter, right? We were coming off from bottom. Now we started a new bull run. And we're about to go into parabolic phase. So all of the utility that Sheeb has been building could make a big difference. Maybe Sheeb surpasses Doge this time around. So we'll see. The best thing you could do as a project is to build, right? You build during low times. You build during winter. And then you get rewarded when the parabolic phase comes. So Sheeb could be huge because of Shibarium and everything else that they're building. NMCT, will we finally see Bear shut up if BTC breaks 33K before year end? I don't know. I don't know. There's still just a lot of bearish people. They just refuse to believe that good days are coming, right? I think they just got too stuck in crypto winter. But how could it be a surprise to anyone? I mean, just look at Bitcoin. It does this every single cycle. Every single time we go to the top, we come back down, we start recovering, we find a midpoint. That's usually the halving event, and then we start going forward. It's been doing this since 2011. So why is it a surprise that we're coming off from bottom, we're going up, approaching the halving event, and then we're going to go higher? Why is that a surprise? It shouldn't be by now. Kuji was on Luna, TVL, growing, check DeFi Llama. Yeah, that was the one that someone else asked me about, but they're in Cosmos now, right? Yeah, sounds like a meme coin, but it's not. It's like a DeFi project. They're breaking out a little bit, versus their high, not so much, but, they're not. They're 72% off. I was going to say not that much, but yeah, they're still 72% off. Ooh, getting a little bump. Getting a little bump. Last night, we saw Bitcoin hit. Ooh, we saw it hit 31,000. We're not too far off. 30,700. Starting to see that momentum again. A little bit against, not a little bit, very against the market. Although the U.S. market is turning around, so that's good. But it's looking good. Looking good, guys. All right. Well, on that note, let's conclude. I ran a little long already. Today's a very exciting day, and it just started. This week could be absolutely fantastic. So, I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, guys. Stay strong, hodl, accumulate, and you'll be led to the promised land by Bitcoin. Not me, Bitcoin. All right, have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.